Hi everyone, my name is Shoshanik, and in this video I would like to do a review of LanguageLine Solutions interpretation company, a review from standpoint of an employee, of an interpreter. I used to work at this company for over a year, the reason I'm doing this video is because when I was an employee I wrote a review on the Glassdoor.com. Probably you know that website that has reviews of different companies, and when I checked in a couple of months, that review was deleted. According to Glassdoor, it was because it violated their terms and conditions, which is not true, because according to their terms and conditions they would remove reviews that have profanities, aggressive language, discriminatory things, or trade secrets, none of which were in my review. But I thought, okay, things happen, so I wrote another review already as a former employee. At that time I was already not working at the company, and today I checked Glassdoor and that review was also removed. So I decided that then I have to make a review, post it on YouTube, and those people who would like to hear an honest opinion of an employee who worked for LanguageLine Solutions, they would be able to see it, because otherwise, from what I can see, Glassdoor is all rigged, and the reviews that the company doesn't want to see, they just got removed, and the 5-star reviews are posted. That is very obvious, by the way, if you look at the profile, because as you can see here, up to some point the rating of the company was around 2, but then all of a sudden it jumped up to 3. So all of a sudden they started probably paying attention on what was going on Glassdoor and started removing the reviews they don't want and reinforcing positive reviews. But back to the point. So how was my experience at LanguageLine Solutions as an interpreter, and what are pros and cons of working for this company? I was a Russian interpreter. I interpreted to and from Russian over the phone. And basically there are only 2 good things about working at LanguageLine Solution. The first thing is that you work from home, so you don't have to drive anywhere. You can just wake up, set everything up and start working, which is a good thing. The second good thing, and the last one as for me, is that they offer 401k with matching contribution. This is the only benefit that LanguageLine Solutions offers to the on-staff interpreters. And now, what's bad about working for this company? So the first and most important thing, that basically you are treated as a cheap labor. You know, interpretation is not a thing that anyone can do. It's a skill, it requires education, it requires special skill and ability to be able to interpret, even if you are fluent in 2 languages, which many of people are not. But even if you are not guaranteed to be able to do a consecutive interpretation over the phone, because it's a skill. You have to develop that ability or be born with it. I don't know, it depends on, somebody develops it and somebody is born with it, but you have to have that ability to listen, to grasp the content quickly, and to interpret it to other language fast, and to memorize long paragraphs that the clients are saying, and to be able to interpret it as close as possible. And interpretation nowadays, it's mostly medical, so it's very high stress and high responsibility. But back to the point. So the problem is that in LanguageLine Solutions, interpreters are treated as cheap labor, so they pay almost minimum wage. When I was hired, they had a different policy and they paid per minute, which was more or less fine. But then they started switching to flat rate, and that flat rate was just insulting. Because it was a couple of dollars more than the minimum wage. once they started doing it, that was the first red flag that I got, that I have to leave as soon as possible. Now they switched mandatory everybody. All the interpreters are mandatory switched to the flat rate that is, for many of them, less than they earned per minute. And that pay, it's just an insult, you know. So basically it works like that interpreters make money for the company because they charge their clients a lot of money for the interpretation, but pay interpreters just a fraction, like nothing. They basically they treat you just like a replaceable robot. So you have just a 30-minute break, which is unpaid, and you have also 2 15-minute break, which are paid, but all other time you just have to be interpreting back-to-back calls. So imagine 8 hours of constant calls and speeches, interpretation, and pay is almost a minimum wage. It's crazy. They also don't have any raises and any career opportunities. So I know people who have been working for them for like 15 years for the same amount of money, which is very low pay. They didn't get any possibility to have a raise or any possibility to move up the ladder. So basically, if you work there, expect that you would stay at the same position with the same pay forever. Even though it is a work from home, it's not flexible, because once you have your shift, it's very hard to change it. Also, there is no paid time off or vacation. And taking that unpaid time off for those days or weeks that you need is also pretty hard to get approved for it. They also don't offer any paid medical leave. Here I should mention that of course it depends on a state. In my state, I live in California, there is a law that requires employers to give 3 days per year of paid medical leave, so I had a paid medical leave with that minimum requirement. But in many states, in most of the states, there is no such requirement. So Language Line Solutions, they don't give anything, any benefit, unless it is required by law from the state that the interpreter lives in. So basically, most of the interpreters, they don't get even a medical leave. From what I understand, researching this company a little bit, they have like 2 cohorts of employees. The first is corporate, so I guess they treat corporate people better, and they probably pay them better benefits and better wages and everything else. But interpreters are like a separate part of a company that is taken advantage of, even though since this is the interpretation company, interpreters are the main people who make money for the company, but they are treated the worst. No benefits, pay is obnoxious. So that's how what I can say as a former employee of Language Line Solutions. Why I left, first because of that flat rate shift, second because they started demanding that interpreters do video interpretation in addition to phone interpretation that we did, without any renegotiation of the rate or anything. So basically they loaded you with more job, with more responsibility, with harder job, because it's harder to do video interpretation when you have to look at the client's face and look around and everything, than phone interpretation, when you can just write down or check the dictionary or something like that. So they demanded that everybody would switch to video interpretation without any pay raise, without anything. So that, in addition to the flat rate change, made me quit this job, and I don't regret it, because it was an insult to be paid like that. So the bottom line is, this job might be a good fit for those who are just starting. If you're a teenager and you just need a job to earn a little bit of extra money to help you with education, and you are thinking between going to a fast food chain or working for Language Line Solutions, that might be a good fit. If you are a new immigrant and you don't have a degree here or a certificate or whatever you need to start your career, and you need to study or you need to pass some exams or something, and for the time being you need any kind of job, and you are thinking between like working at a factory or cleaning houses or working for Language Line Solutions, that might be a good fit. The only problem is that in many other low-paying jobs like fast food stores, factories, etc., you would get better benefits probably than in Language Line Solutions, but here you got to work from home, and so you have to decide. I mean, but this job is kind of on that level. If you want to make a career as an interpreter, or if you hope to make a career at an interpretation company as a like corporate or something like that, that is not a job for that. You wouldn't be able to do that at Language Line Solutions. So that's my review, and I hope here it would stay, not like in Glassdoor where it was removed twice. I am a real person, I am a real former employee, and I'm not hiding. I will post links to my social networks, and if you have any questions you can PM me and I would be glad to share my experience. So it's a real review, and I hope it helps those who are considering working for Language Line Solutions. So thanks everybody for watching.